I just had this on my heart, and I feel like sharing. So I immigrated to the United States, or was brought to the United States when I was 1. So I am native Dominican. Although raised here, I have very, very few roots in the Dominican Republic, and, I feel that. I think about my experiences here in this country and navigating the immigration process, which was a 20 plus year process. So just so you understand, when I first got here in 1986, I was immediately in the immigration process. It was like arrived, detained, put into this process of like having to claim, residency status and all of this stuff. At least, my mother and my family was to do for me. So that began in 1986. In 2000, no, I think it was, in 2000, maybe 2001 or 2000, I became a resident. I was 16 when they finally approved that. Then I was told I couldn't request to be included in a Child Citizenship Act that was imposed by, or not imposed, but was put into effect by President Clinton, which meant that any child of a citizen, naturalized or otherwise, would become a citizen as well, was automatically naturalized. And so I learned about this when I was like 18, and I thought, oh, well, I'm 18 now. Like, does that count? And I called all these, I called these agencies and all this stuff, and they basically told me no and broke my heart. And so I stopped even thinking about it for a while. So 2 years later, I start doing my research again, and I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to become a citizen? And I found this Child Act again. And so I called a 1-800 immigration law number or something like that. I think it was like 1-800 immigration or INS or something. And they basically told me that I qualified and that I just needed to pay $200 for them to look up my record, because my residency card had never arrived, and when we reported that, we never heard back. So this was for someone to just look up our record. It was $200. So at that time, I was working part-time as an intern at CBRE, which I still have friends there. And then from there, I want to say that was like a December, like it was like, or maybe it was a January, it was the beginning of the year or something like that. And then by like maybe like a month or 2 later, I heard back, and it was a letter saying I had an appointment at One Federal Plaza, which is where immigration was. I don't know if they still are. And that meeting was for April. I went in on April with my mom. I sat down with a Black gentleman, who talked to me about what I was hoping to study in college and all of this stuff. Or was I already? I was already in college at that point, right? What year was this? Yeah, I must have been in like my first year of college. And so we talked then, and he said, I had my little passport picture that they put on your certificate and stuff, and he was like, oh, do you have all these things? And I said, yes. And he took it and walked out. And my mom and I sat in the waiting room, and this gentleman in a white linen suit, tall gentleman, imagine like legit Colonel Sanders style, tall. Was he wearing a hat? I can't remember, but he definitely had like a mustache, and he definitely had a white linen suit on, and he was handing out these white envelopes. And so at some point he came over and, he called our name, came up, grabbed the envelope, and I opened it, and it was my certificate of naturalization. And that's how anticlimactic it was when I became a citizen. I was handed an envelope, I read it, and it said I was naturalized, and that was it. So 20 plus years of sitting on pins and needles, just like, I can't make a mistake, I'm gonna get deported, and all of these different things, and just kind of living in fear in a way, right? And it just took this one envelope. It's kind of crazy. And now looking back, I'm living in my home that the bank owns, but it's mine. Married, I have a daughter, I have a great career, I have amazing friends and family. I'm truly, truly blessed, and I am so grateful, even though it was really, really hard. And it's just indescribable how challenging it is to have to navigate all of that basically on your own as soon as I was able to, right? And that just goes to show that we're capable of much more than we give ourselves credit. And I think that's ultimately what I wanted to get to, is just sometimes we think, we're not able, or things are too hard, but we just do it. We just get it done.